What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode on The Black Experience. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone is enjoying the season they're in. It is almost springtime, and I'm excited. Spring and summer are my two favorite seasons, y'all, and I can't wait for it. But I hope everyone's doing well. I appreciate anyone that is watching this amazing episode. Today, y'all, I have a special treat for you guys. Today, I have someone who is a former college basketball player at Grace Harbor. He is currently an assistant coach at Spanaway Lake, and he's also an up-and-coming, rising community leader. Let's put our hands together, and let's bring up my good friend, Trey. What's going on, man?
What's up?
How you doing, brother?
How you doing? Good.
Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Good.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited to be here, man. Like I was looking forward to this. I've been plotting on this, like writing in my journal about this for like a couple months now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited.
You know, I still remember getting your message on Instagram, and I'm kind of like at a point in the podcast where I've been getting a little bit of these kind of random messages from people I don't know yet. But that also means, you know, my podcast is getting out there and it's making its way around Instagram. So when I saw that, man, I saw your profile and what you're doing, man, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's make this collab happen.
Facts.
So, yeah. You how's your Sunday been so far? Pretty chill, or?
Yeah, it's been a chill Sunday. Just went to church, man, chill with the family, bro. So it's been a real chill Sunday. You know, just getting ready for this podcast, man.
100%, man. 100%, man. And this is your first podcast.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm honored, man, because, you know, hey, you know, the people that have you on future podcasts, you know, I get to say that I had you on first, you know?
Pioneer.
Pioneer podcast, right?
For real.
Well, Trey, man, you know, I said a lot in that introduction right there, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, man, so clearly basketball must be his favorite sport.
Yeah, for sure.
A little icebreaker before we start. What's your favorite basketball team?
Favorite
NBA
basketball team, man. Dang. Bro, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bandwagon, bro. For real. Like, I like every team. One team I really like, though, well, my favorite player is Draymond Green.
Really?
Like, people like, hate when I say that, but I'm a Draymond Green, Pat Beverly, PJ Tucker type of, like, you know. So, yeah, those are my, like, few favorite players. Favorite team, though, used to be, man, favorite team probably used to be the 2012 Heat.
Oh,
yeah, that was, man.
That team was something, bro.
Great team, for sure. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, like, I got a broad, like, point of view when it comes to, like, NBA teams and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, 1 month, I'm messing with the Warriors. The other month, I'm messing with the Celtics, you know? Like,
but at least you admit it.
Exactly.
You know, you're a proud bandwagon, you know?
For
a
real,
lot of people
yeah.
here, they're like, no, I'm not a bandwagon. Oh, I'm switching teams now.
Exactly.
I've always been, no, you haven't. I'm like, you know what I mean?
For real, though. What's your favorite team now?
Man, I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. Yeah, but we haven't been doing too well since the Big Three.
Exactly.
I mean, Wemby.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that dude is he's great, but you know, we've been lacking in that department. But the 2014, and I love LeBron. I love LeBron. I think Jordan's the GOAT, and that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But I will say the 2014 Spurs may have been the best, like one of the best basketball teams, just because of like the teamwork that they had. Like, man.
For real, though. And the defense was crazy, too, though. Like, everybody was just locked in, like, in one motion, man. It 100%. Was crazy, yes, man.
Young Kawhi winning Finals MVP.
Man, that's insane. Tim Duncan getting his last ring, man. That was crazy.
That is crazy, bro. But yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to throw a little. I felt like, as you know, as basketball fans, and especially you as a player, I had to throw that in there. But if you want to start off talking a little bit about your background, tell the audience a little bit about who Trey is, where Trey comes from, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm from Spanaway, born and raised. I've been living there all my life. Some people don't like claiming they're from Spanaway, you know. So it's like, because like it's such a small town. So like people usually say like they're from Tacoma, or like they're from like the Puyallup area or stuff like that. But like I really love my city. So I definitely say I'm from Spanaway, born and raised. Went to school at Cedar Crest. Went to high school at Spanaway Lake. So like, that's what taught me like to build that community, you know, because we have a small town. So like I feel like small town equals like more opportunities to do like what you want to do like inside your community, you know. So like, yeah, just trying to put Spanaway on the map, you know, like as far as like just building the community, because we have like a perception of like being like just like a drug city or like a whole lot of like gang violence and like robberies and stuff like that. But like that's not us, you know. Like it's just like a perception we got on us because like it's just from like people's like past experience. But we're a growing city, so like yeah, I'm excited for Spanaway's future.
And how close is Spanaway to Tacoma?
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's more south than Tacoma?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So like we're by Yelm area. Like we're like in the middle. We're in between Tacoma and Puyallup. It's
so right next to Wild Waves.
No. We're like,
is Wild Waves down south more?
Yeah, that's like Federal Way area. Yeah, like we're like, you know where Yelm is?
I've passed through Yelm before.
Yeah, we're like
somewhere
right
there?
there, Roy, Yelm, Olympia,
Okay.
like so. Yeah, over there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I've heard of Spanaway like once before in my lifetime, but aside from that, I mean, it's a small town.
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
So, so you grew up there pretty much for most of your life?
Yeah, I grew up there. Like all my family like was growing up there. So like I'll go to like my uncle's house, my grandma's house. I was really like, she raised me for real. Like I used to hate going home. Like I used to cry like I want to stay here. You know, like that used to be like, I used to claim that was like my house at one point. So just being there, like there's nothing like a grandma's love. So yeah, like everybody, like all my family, like we all like, since I was born, we all been in Spanaway. So like everybody moved to like Texas and like up north, you know. Like one thing about Spanaway, like it does like get old. Like, you know, like a lot of people, like the goal is to move out of Spanaway, you know. Even like after like this tournament, like when I get my degree and stuff, like I plan on like moving out of Spanaway, you know. But like I'll still like go there and like build a community and stuff. But like I feel like my end goal is to like move out of Spanaway, you know.
Where would you want to go?
Probably like I've been like feeling like Arizona lately, you know.
Oh, so like out of the state completely.
Yeah, like out of the state. Just trying to build like make my mark on my city first and like build a legacy first and then like do other things, you know. But like my main focus right now is just building the community. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Yeah.
So when did basketball come in the picture? Did you grow up bouncing a basketball or how'd that happen?
Yeah, so I grew up playing basketball. Like we were a basketball house. My dad played basketball in Kansas City, and then he came down here in the Army. He played basketball in the Army. Yeah, we're just a basketball family. Like I was playing basketball since I was like 4, man. And like we're like a really competitive house, so it's like everything is win lose. Like we got a lot of sore losers in the house, especially.
Are you one of them?
Yes, for sure. I hate losing. I hate losing, man. Yeah. Like it's a learning curve, but like I hate losing. Like even as like a coach now, like I'm like, man, like it really makes a mark on your day for real. But yeah, I grew up playing basketball. Everybody in my family is like athletes, so like. It's just like the environment, like the culture. Like I had to, you know, like I don't want to get left behind, you know.
Oh, 100%, bro. Yeah, like your siblings are like leveling up and they're doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, man, hey, don't leave me behind.
Exactly, 100%.
That reminds me of Michael Jordan saying, "I took it personal."
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You know, he took everything personal, like one slight. But honestly, man, the way I see it is like, especially in sports, you kind of have to have that kind of competitive something to drive you.
Exactly.
Even as little as that might do it for you, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I tell my players, like, I'm like, we have to have a common goal, you know? Like we're not gonna win games or like be where we wanna be if we don't have a common goal, you know? So like just like pushing that like goal setting for them and like because everybody wants to be successful as a basketball player. Everybody wants to go to the NBA, but like there's like certain goals you have to take, you know, just like life in general, you know, like you have to set goals constantly, you know, and have a common goal with yourself and like God, you know, so like just building relationships and like a common goal, like within yourself and like within your purpose, you know. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you found your purpose?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like I'm never satisfied with myself, you know? Like I never have like an end goal, like as far as like where success goes. Like I feel like God is constantly blessing me where it's like I don't really have like a main purpose, you know? Like I have ideas come like within my head every day, you know, like certain things I want to do, certain things I want to enjoy in life, you know?
Right.
So like there's never really like a set purpose I have for myself and a set purpose like God has for me, you know? So I'm constantly just going with the flow every day, you know? And whatever like God puts in my heart to do, like I'm gonna give 100% to it, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's you know, I'm also, you know, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
and I went to church today too, and you know, blessed Sunday, and I think there's something about, you know, your faith playing a big part in your life. You know, I mean, I grew up Christian, but it wasn't until college that I actually found out what it means to be a Christian.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And yes, well, like I had like a huge like spiritual warfare like this year, like 2024, like this past year. Like my relationship with God has like always been strong, you know, but I never really like got tested in a big way, you know. And I was constantly like praying for like strength, you know, like God, please give me strength. And then my brother, like my best friend, passed away. So it's like, okay, God's testing me. Like, okay, do you believe in me? Like, do you like trust me? You know, to give you strength. And like ever since, like I took that pain, and it just made me into like, you know, like a killer. Like I want to like succeed. You know, like I want to strive for greatness, because he was like the reason why I was praying for strength was because I used to like struggle with like death anxiety and like anxiety, like huge anxiety. Like I went to therapy for it. So yeah, I was just struggling with death anxiety like for like 3 years, and like still going on sometimes, you know? So like it's definitely like a mental battle like people don't see, because like you're putting on this cap like, okay, like he's this happy dude, like he's smiling, you know, laughing around, you know? So like people don't know like the mental battles you go through and like the spiritual warfares you go through, you know? So it's like I was struggling with death anxiety, and like you have this perfect dude, like my best friend, like perfect dude, like leader in the community, like loved everybody, didn't do anything wrong, like just this perfect person, and then you take him away. So imagine a person like me, like that's not perfect, still like goes through things, still repents, like, you know, like goes through these certain things, and like in my head I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, you know, like I gotta do these things. Like I wasn't planning on doing this tournament, you know, like until like that was far years ahead, you know. But like I'm doing these things because this is how I cope, you know? Like this is how I cope like with the death anxiety, because tomorrow's not promised, and death is very certain, you know. I had a conversation with my friends yesterday about like how certain death is, you know. So like me doing these things and me creating a scholarship fund for my best friend, and me doing this tournament for like the community, and like my best friend's legacy is like how I cope with things, you know. And like instead of me taking my pain and like letting my pain or like letting the devil like get to me, like this is how I cope with things. It's like what makes me happy, like, you know, because I grieve every day, man. And like like that's just how it is. Like that's life, man. I'm grieving like every day, but like I use my pain into my strength, you know. Yeah. So
and that's powerful, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, the part when you talked about, you know, people, they see you smiling, laughing, and they're like, man, Trey's just always good.
Yeah.
You know, he don't got a problem at all.
Right.
God has blessed him.
Yeah.
But it's like I get the same treatment sometimes because, you know, I am an optimistic, positive person.
Yeah.
And people I don't like to display weakness, or at least when I do, it's behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Heck, I don't even like to cry in front of public, you know?
I mean,
And it's like, especially as guys too.
Yeah.
And so when people have that image of you, and then sometimes you might show that weakness, they're surprised because they're like, oh, when did this come from?
Exactly.
Well, it's always been there. It's
Yeah.
just I didn't trust you
For
or
real,
want to even trust myself to put myself out there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just started like learning how to be like more vulnerable. Like if you would have asked me these questions like a year ago, 2 years ago, bro, I would have been like, man, like
I'm a man.
like,
I don't do show
you
no
feel me?
emotion.
Like, yeah, exactly. So like I feel like my dad has like played a huge part in like me like having a father figure in my life that is very vulnerable, you know. Like when my dad cries, I cry, you know, like because like he's been through so much, and like him just being vulnerable is like, okay, like if he's going through these things and he's expressing to his like kids and like to his wife, it's like, okay, I have no excuse as a man, you know, to be in that position to be vulnerable, you know? So like I definitely like start expressing my feelings more, and I feel like it's helped me so much, and like it's helped me to get where I'm at because I'm vulnerable with people, like not necessarily like a trust, but like more like a communication thing with my vulnerability, like just telling people my testimony and like my story.
Yeah. Did you grow up, I'm assuming, because you mentioned your faith a few times, did you grow up in a household of faith, or what was that journey like?
Yeah, so my uncle, he was a pastor in the church, and so I went to church every Sunday, and like I grew up in the church. I was singing in the youth choir, you know, playing the drums, you know, like I was really deep in the church. But like once I started like hitting my teenage years, like I was going through like a spiritual warfare, like, okay, like I'm like, what am I going to church for? You know, what is my purpose like as far as like going to church and like my relationship with God, you know? So like I was questioning my faith at one point, because it's like, who are you going to church for? Are you going to church because your family's deep in the church, or are you going to church because you know?
Wow.
So it's like I had to have that conversation with God and just give everything to God. Like, God, like, why am I here? Like, what is my purpose? You know? And like, why, like, yeah, just like, why am I so faithful in like this position that I am in right now? So it's just going through those things, like just builds up for like why I'm here right now, you know? And like going through like certain like things like death and like certain depressions, anxiety, stuff like that, it's built me to be here right now in this position to help other people with the same struggles, you know? So like just using my faith and like my testimony to help others, man, it's just been a huge blessing, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, man. And you're doing that through basketball too.
Yes.
Which is even more impressive. You know, you have that outlet.
Exactly.
Which is why when I asked you that purpose question, I was trying to see if you would say immediately, if you would answer, yes, it's basketball.
Yeah.
But you hesitated, which means you love basketball, but maybe, you know, you're not, you know, purpose could be something more.
I feel like basketball is just like an outlet, or like a door to like a success, you know, like to build me up on that ladder. And when I was my freshman year, I believe my freshman year, I was at a AAU banquet, like a select basketball team banquet, and one of my mentors, his name is Coach David Brown. He said basketball has done so much for you. You should give back to the game, you know, like give back to basketball because it's gotten you to this point. So like God has blessed me so much, and me playing like college basketball and me playing high school, like building like all that experience for like why I'm here right now. So me using like coaching as an outlet to success has like really like gotten me to this point. Yeah, for sure.
And so you say, because you again, you played college for Grace Harbor. For Grace Harbor. Yeah. And it was that moment that made you go from a player to a coach.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Kind of like a Bill Russell moment.
Yeah, for real. So I went to you're not gonna like this, but I went to your rival school, Central, my first year. And I went to Central my first year, and then I was a student assistant coach, like a manager. Like I wasn't planning on playing basketball. I'll just go to the rec center hoop, you know, and then just being like getting an opportunity like to be a manager like was like my motivation. And I met Coach Blake Cleveringa. He motivated me to play basketball because the head coach was like he recommended me to Coach Clev. So we chopped it up, and I had the opportunity to play basketball for him, and it was like a cool experience because he gave me that opportunity to like to see like a different point of view, you know. And like I got that self-reflection, like, bro, like you're not gonna go to the NBA with this, bro. So like build like more opportunities. There's more than just playing basketball. There's so many opportunities like in the basketball culture than just being on the court, you know. And like me being at Grace Harbor made me realize that. And like and like another thing, being in Aberdeen, it's a pretty small town. Like I was probably the few black like people in that town. So it's like it wasn't really like a lot of culture there, you know, but there was a community, you know, and like you had opportunities to build like the community. It's because basketball was literally the town. Like there were so many people that show up like that didn't even know us, like just to like watch us play basketball. So I'm like, okay, if like random people that don't know us are coming to like show up like here, like imagine like people like in Spanaway, like where it's a basketball culture and like trying to build that culture. So like that motivated me to like, okay, like you have an opportunity to like do something in your community. And I'm like, 2 months after that, a month after that, I broke my lease and moved back to Spanaway. So I'm back here, and
yeah, man. Damn, man, that's big. Man, let's talk about your best friend, man, Eli.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him,
My
man.
guy.
I remember, man, when we were on that call, and you mentioned that because the scholarship that we're gonna get into. You know, tell us a little bit about how your friendship with Eli kind of started and how that led to, you know, the passing, and then obviously the tournament you got going on, and then the scholarship.
Yeah, so me and Eli met in 2nd grade. That was probably my longest friendship, and we just clicked. And like I'm more like the loud talkative person, you know, like once I'm comfortable, like I'm more like the loud talkative person, and he's like the quiet person, like doesn't say a word, like huge observer, and like he doesn't talk, like very like laid back. And so I feel like opposites attracted in that type of way, and like that just carried the like friendship, especially like basketball too. Like he loved basketball. He was one of the coldest hoopers, man. Like I never like ever knew like can jump out the gym, you know. And like basketball really like had a huge impact on like our friendship. So like we used to play on the same team together. Like then once we got to high school, he moved away to Tacoma and he went to Stadium. And then like we talked, but like we didn't really like hang out that much, you know, because like he was so like he was kind of far, you know. And so like we'll text each other every once in a while. And then he moved back his senior year of high school, and like it's crazy how God works. It's like God knew like, okay, like he needs like his best friend, you know. So like he moved back like his senior year, and we got super close again. I'm glad I got to play with him my senior year, and once we went to college, we got super close. He was on his hoop journey, and I was just going to school just to go to school, you know, like just there, you know. And then I moved back to Spanaway, and then we started hooping with each other every day, and he started hanging out like with like the friend group like since middle school. Like he started hanging out with us like a lot more, like start getting out there, because he was more the laid back type of guy. He didn't really want to go nowhere, so he just wanted to hoop, you know. Like I was like, hey Eli, like there's this party tonight, you should come with us. He make up an excuse, you know, just not to go. So it's like he started like hanging out with us more. Like he started hooping, and then I used to have like kickbacks and stuff at my house, so he used to come sometimes. And then he passed away. I found out. Well, at first they thought like, cause he didn't come home like the night before like it happened. So like his brother like texted me and was like, you know where Eli is? And I was like, nah, like I seen him a couple days ago. Like I called him, he didn't answer. And then that next day I go to like, I was coaching summer league at the time, and one of my players was like, you know Eli passed away. I'm like, Eli who? Like, what are you talking about? He was like, JT's brother. That was his brother's name. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, I dropped everything, man, went out the door. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? So I look on Instagram, and his brother like posted like RIP Eli. And then like that day, like a part of my soul just like went away, you know, like it was like my whole like life just changed like in a second, you know. And it was like emotional roller coaster, and then like it still is, because that was like my first best friend ever. And like God knew the timing like of like, because at the end like he was super vulnerable. Like he was like getting out more and laughing, like expressing like to us like how much he loved us and stuff like that. So he was super vulnerable, and he was super close to God and like his relationship with God, and he was like shedding the gospel for us and stuff like that. And then he just passed away. So it's like, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster. And like just seeing his like siblings and like his family super emotional too. And like, it's super sad, but he's watching over me every day, and like I feel his presence every day. And certain things I do and like say and like decisions I'm making, I feel like he's always with me, you know, and he's always making like he always has that influence on me, you know, when I'm making decisions and like doing my day-to-day things, you know. So like I definitely feel like his presence, you know. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Appreciate you, man.
I wouldn't say I have one best friend, but I have several best friends.
Yeah.
And the thought of even losing one of them, I can't even fathom, man.
Yeah.
So my condolences. I think the fact that it's almost like it's God and Eli on your shoulder, and wherever they go, wherever you go, they're there right there and be like, you sure you want to do that? Or go do that.
Exactly. So like everybody like that passed away in my house. I mean, like in my like life, you know, like my grandma, like my uncle, one of my mentors, Miles, like he was one of like the first coaches like that instilled like confidence into me, passed away. And my auntie Mulaney passed away like that the same year Eli passed. It's like I trust God like is leading me into something, you know, like I constantly like feel their presence like in certain situations. Like just looking at like that tree right now, like it's like reminding me of like my grandma and like how she used to have like a whole bunch of plants in her house. So like certain things like remind me of them. Like my auntie Mulaney used to call me Peanut, you know. So every time I see like some peanuts or something, like I'm constantly thinking about her. So like certain things like I'm constantly thinking about them, like, and like I feel like they're always like gonna be like inside me and like instilled in me, you know, always in my life. And I definitely use that as motivation. And things like certain like settings and stories like leading up to that and situations has brought me this far, you know. So just I'm constantly like instilling I'm constantly like having them like always in my heart, you know. So
Absolutely, man. How did the passing of Eli kind of lead to both the tournament and the scholarship? Tell us about that.
So Eli was like deep in the community. Like he was always like motivating people to like be successful and like supporting people. Like like he was always supporting people. And like basketball like was his outlet too. Like he was a great basketball player. He was playing for Centralia at the time. And I wasn't planning on like doing the tournament like anytime soon. Like that was more like in the future, like I said before. And him just passing, I'm like, okay, like we need something in the community, you know. Like this was like kind of like detrimental to like the community and like had a huge impact on the community. So I'm like, we need something like there for us, you know, because Spanaway has like no rec centers, you know, no really sources, you know. Like that's why I started like the scholarship fund too, like for athletes in Spanaway, because we have this dude, like for example, his name is Devontae Moffitt, great basketball player, like insane. If you've seen him, like he's like an insane basketball player. But like we're in Spanaway though, so like opportunities were like, I don't want to say cut short, but like very thin, you know. So even though he ended up like going to like Seattle Pacific and like he's playing overseas right now, I feel like more people like in Tacoma or like Seattle area like has more opportunities than him because he's from this small town called Spanaway, you know. So like I'm like trying to build these opportunities for like younger kids. Even if it's not basketball, bro, it's like, bro, like you have an opportunity to do whatever you want, you know, like especially at a young age. Like one thing about the older generation, I like, they're always looking for the youth, you know, like they love getting motivated by the youth and like coming up with new ideas. That's one thing I've learned. One of my mentors, Darius, like he's been like pretty like huge like in my life, like just with opportunities and stuff. Like he's really like done a lot for like the tournament, like getting me like the facility and stuff like that. So I'm really like, he works for the Bethel School District, and he's like constantly like, I'm constantly giving him ideas, you know, and like he's giving me the opportunity to do like stuff like a Big Brother program. Like I'm doing a Big Brother program right now, and yeah.
Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
We had at Western we had a Big Brothers and Big Sister program.
Yeah.
My freshman year.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it only lasted for a few months because COVID happened afterwards.
Yeah.
But man, we need stuff like that, man,
Exactly,
especially
bro.
in the Black community.
For real, like these these quote unquote like YNs or whatever like you want to call them, like they need motivation. Like they need people like us like to like be like, okay, like you can do this, like for real, like you have the opportunity to like to get to this point in your life, you know? And like there's this guy like he raps in Spanaway. He's like a huge rapper, like he's a big rapper in Spanaway. And he like a lot of like little like kids look up to him, you know, in a way. And like they're like, yeah, I don't want to do, because I'm a paraeducator, and they're like, I don't want to do this. I'm just gonna rap like Dolo, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, he's like Dolo, he's still going to college, you know, he's still getting his education. So like I'm like, you guys don't know like the full story of people, you know, and like what people are still doing, you know. So it's like I'm trying to be that outlet. It's like, okay, like it's still cool to like kick it with your homies, you know, party and stuff like that, and still like do what you got to do, you know, to be successful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just back to the scholarship. I'm sorry for getting off topic.
Nah, man.
But back to the scholarship, just building like opportunities. And the reason that way I got the idea is Darius told me 90% of Bethel School District like students graduate, and like 1/4 of them like don't do nothing after high school, you know. So like me having this tournament and having like a whole bunch of booths set up for like colleges and like trade opportunities and stuff like that, it's just giving like kids or even like adults, like you can be 60, like still wanting that motivation and that opportunity, you know. And yeah, so just building opportunities for people in my community, man, is huge for me right now. Yeah, like.
And how many people can say they're starting a scholarship? You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Very few people can say that. So, and the fact that, again, and you're gonna take this far because you have that motivation, being, you know, your best friend. You know, when you have that motivation, someone that passed away or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what, you know, stuff you have to go through. You're gonna make it happen.
Exactly. And like, what makes it so like amazing though is like when the community is behind you too, you know, like constantly getting that support, you know, and that motivation to just keep going. Like there's so many times where I was super stressed, like bro, like questioning myself, you know, and like people like in the community helping me and like giving me opportunities to do like certain things inside like for the tournament and like for the scholarship fund has like been a huge help. And yeah, and just coaching too though, like I'm constantly learning and like making mistakes with this coaching stuff, and just having people behind me. One of my mentors, Daniil, he's like the head coach for Spanaway. He's giving me like huge like guidance on like it's okay to make mistakes, you know, like it's okay to mess up. Like that's how you learn things. And like I'm a perfectionist. Like everything has to be perfect.
Me too.
You know? Like
I feel you.
If it ain't my way, then I can't do it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's my way or the highway. Pretty much.
Literally, man, for real.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, like just him telling me like, okay, like dude, it's okay to make mistakes. Like you're going to make mistakes. You're 21, bro. You're a first year coach. Like it's okay, bro.
You're 21 and you're a coach.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So like just getting that like constant like people motivating me and like affirming me like, okay, like you can do this, bro. You're only 21, you know? And like has been like a huge blessing, you know? It's really helped me.
Absolutely, man. Dude, you are an inspiration, man. And I hope some youngins are listening to this because lately, you know, been thinking about my target audience being, you know, I want the younger generation to be my target audience. And you know, me, you know, being in my early 20s too, I am part of that mix because I'm also motivated myself with whoever I bring on. But man, you are an inspiration, man.
Yeah, thank you.
That is big.
You.
What are some of the key differences that you've realized between, you know, being a player and then being a coach? Like, do you prefer one or the other? How's that been?
Man, to be honest, bro, like I told my homies this the other day, like I get the same love from getting a win from coaching than I do like getting like as a player. You know, like even when I'm like at like LA Fitness or like the Y, bro, I'm still like, I still enjoy hooping, you know?
Yeah.
So like hooping is always gonna be in my heart, bro. And like, yeah, bro, but I really love coaching, man. Like it just hits different. Like, and like I'm texting old coaches like, thank you. Like I appreciate you. Cause like I'm seeing the things that I was complaining about like in the past. Now I'm seeing it as a coach. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're right. You know, I totally understand it now. Just like thinking like some things are just bigger than basketball too. Like, you know, as far as like building relationships with your like players, you know, like I feel like the hardest thing about coaching, like as a 21-year-old, is like the like relationship like difference. Like, how do I say it? Like filtering things out as far as like, okay, like I'm a big brother in certain situations, but sometimes, but like in other situations, you got to respect me as a coach too, you know, and as like an adult, you know.
Yes.
So like in like certain situations, like certain things like they want to talk about.
Right.
And like things like that, okay, I'll be that big brother. But once it gets to like in game and like certain things that I need you to learn for you to be successful,
yeah,
like you got to filter that out, you know? So like I feel like that's been the biggest struggle, like as a first year coach and being like 21, you know? So yeah, I'm constantly learning that. Like once I figured that out and once I filter those things out, and once like that happens, like, man, sky's the limit for real. Like I have like what Coach Clev taught me is like, I have no, like, there's no ceiling, you know? Like, I have an empty canvas, like a open canvas, like and nothing's peak for me, you know? So, like, sky is literally the limit for me. And, like, as long as I keep thinking that, bro, like, nothing can stop me.
Absolutely.
Unstoppable, bro, for real.
Trey, I got to ask, man, where do you want to take this?
Man, shoot. Man, my end goal is really building a rec center in the city. Like, that's my end goal. Once I do that, I don't want to say satisfied, but I'm complete, you know? Yeah. Like, so building a rec center in the city, man, is my dream, bro, because we got so many empty buildings and so many, like, there's nothing going on in the city right now. All people do, like, there's like a bowling alley, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like
that's
for
about
like
it. That and the spacing don't
exactly.
make me.
Bro, like we don't even like
even the spacing don't make people don't even.
You feel me though? Like so like bro, like there's nothing in like Spanaway, bro. So having a rec center for the kids, bro, will help so much in the community, bro, and will build the community, man. So like me building these relationships and constantly networking, bro, like would help like in the end goal, you know? So like just building a rec center and like not even like having a gym inside the rec center, just like having like meditation spots, you know, like meditation, have a studio for kids like to want to like learn how to make beats, you know, like stuff like that, like an art studio, like bro, like nothing like stuff like that, like will like change a kid's life, you know, and like will build so many opportunities for them, you know, because like you don't know what kids are going through in their home life.
No.
And like I had to understand that too, like as a coach and like as a teacher, like you don't know what kids are going through like at home. So like that rec center could just be that outlet, you know, like and something like they need, you know. So like the end goal is definitely like a rec center.
I love that vision, man. I love
for
that
real.
vision.
City,
so
bro.
many,
Yeah, bro. Like,
so many, especially Seattle too. You know, we had the Sonics here, and man,
we got a hoop culture here.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. And we need our Sonics back.
Bro, for real, man.
We need our Sonics back, bro.
Bro, we need like
KD said it. Everyone said it at this point. So
we got the money, man. You know, we got the investors, bro. We need the Sonics back for
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, Trey. Well, Trey, we're actually nearing the end of the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
And I want to touch on family a little bit real quick.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about your best friend, a little bit of family too, but I want you to tell the audience a little bit what the word family means to you and kind of how your family has played a role, be it your mom, your dad, whoever, in your life and inspiring you to do, you know, what Trey does today.
Man, family is everything to me, man. I put my family before, like, anything, bro. Besides God, bro, it's family. Like, family is everything to me. My mom instilled that, like, into me, like, at a young age. Like, even when I didn't want to go to, like, some of the family dinners or, like, certain, like, family events, like, she's like, okay, like, family's first, bro. Like, you know, like, you need your family more than anything in this world right now, you know? Yeah. And, like, when Eli passed away, like, my family played a huge role. Like, just being there, like, I don't need gifts, bro. I don't need money. I don't need anything, bro. I just need presence, you know? So, like, them just being there and, like knowing people that are praying for you, bro, like, makes a difference, you know, in your life. Like, you knowing somebody's, like, always praying for you, bro, is just huge, bro. So, like, my family has always instilled, like, okay, like, that relationship with God. And, like, I really started, like, getting close, like, with, like, my little cousins, like, when I came back, like, they're like my little brother and sisters, like, just being like that big brother for them, you know, and like spoiling them, like doing like anything for them, like that just gives me joy, you know. Like, I don't care like about anything else, but like I make so much time for like my family and like my friends and like people I love, you know. And yeah, family's everything, man. And even like my brother, like my big brother, he's like taught me like so much and like helped me like learn, because he's like making these mistakes as a big brother, and he's like, okay, like, you're not supposed to be doing this as a little brother. So he's like leading by example in a way where it's like, okay, like, it's okay to make mistakes, but you got to bounce back, you know? So like, just like having like consistent people in my life, like always motivating me and like leading by example. And like, ever since like I've like been doing this, like my mom has constantly been preaching, like getting my degree, you know, like she's constantly, like she's been on me every day, like, okay, Trey, you could do this, but you still got to go to school, you know? So like, if she hasn't been saying that, man, I swear, like I would have been dropped out, you know? So like, just having people like constantly like keeping you like keeping that engine running for you, you know, and like constantly like motivating you, you know, and telling you stuff, like, and just leading by example, bro, is just huge, bro. Like, family's like everything, you know? Yeah. And just,
Family means a lot, man.
Man, for real.
Even to me, because here's the thing, man. Like, we don't choose who's our family. And obviously, you know, there's always going to be some, you know, disagreements or whatever, you know what I mean? But hey, man, like at the end of the day, you know, God has given you these set of people to be your blood.
Yeah.
And you got to respect that.
When I was in Palm Springs, like in September, that was like my first time like really writing in my journal, and like I set like the platform down, you know, just like how like I wanted like my family like life to be like in the future, you know, and how like these like people like have like set example for me, you know, like as far as like, okay, like I want like my like sons or daughter to be like just like my little cousin, you know, and like just things like that. And like, yeah, but just family has just played like a huge impact on my life. Like my aunties, like my uncle, like they have constantly like been like huge motivations, because my uncle like lost his like pops and like lost his brother. So like during that time, like he's like constantly been motivating me. He's like really big in like the jazz world, and I never told anybody this, but it's like he like sent me like a song that he made for his dad, and like it's a very emotional song. Like I probably would never like play it for anybody, like unless he wants to like drop it or like whatever, you know. And like that's helped me like with like suicidal thoughts, you know, like mental health, and like those thoughts, like I'm like, okay, like Trey, like what are you doing? Like what's your purpose? You know, like having those like deep, like late talks within yourself, like those mental battles, like he doesn't understand like that music, like that it really helped me, you know. And super emotional. I don't want to cry, but like it's been like he's been like a huge impact on my life, and my auntie too, like giving me opportunities and constantly motivating me. Like she's like been really huge, and she lost a lot of people too, like her, like, so it's like having those people, like those consistent people in your life, and her like giving me opportunities, like she like bought like me and my cousins tickets to like the March Madness game like Friday, just like like letting us like go out and like see stuff, you know, and like just knowing like you can have fun and like still work hard, you know. Yeah. So like she's like been like a huge impact. So everybody has played a role in my life, you know, especially like family, you know. So yeah, wouldn't be here without them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do they feel about what you're doing for Eli?
man, like Eli used to be like, one thing about Eli, he was going like all the trips with us, like all the family trips. Like he was always there. Like that was my road dog for real.
Yeah.
So like he was at all he was on like all the family trips. So like that death like has really like that death impacted them just as much as me. So like what like they believe in me like so much. Like even when I was a kid, like singing in the church, playing on the drums, like they believed in me so much. And like it's kind of like I told you so moment, you know, like putting me out there, like doing like speeches like for church, like forcing me to like do stuff, like certain things in the church has brought me to this point. So it's kind of like a I told you so moment. So it's like yeah, like they constantly like my auntie's like huge in like the metaverse world. Like she works in like metaverse and stuff, and my mom is like a Title I director. So like they're like I have a lot of like leaders in my life, you know. So like I feel like this is just like this is like just a family gene, you know. Like I already had this inside of me. So
Certainly.
it's just like a chip on my shoulder, like I constantly carry, you know. So yeah, they're super proud of me, and yeah.
Yeah. And by what I've heard, man, I'm proud of you too, man.
Thank you, man.
And I know we're just meeting right now, but I mean,
Appreciate that.
from what I've heard, I mean, that is some serious good stuff that you're doing, man. And
Thank
I'm
you.
sure even today, one person, one youngin, or honestly, whatever age you are, is impacted by what you've said today.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've done our jobs, haven't we?
We heard.
So, well, we are at the deep end of the podcast. We're at the point where the audience knows it is time for my favorite question.
Okay.
The advice question.
Okay.
So Trey, amidst everything we've talked about today, the younger generation, you know, my audience, my target audience, they're listening to this right now, and they are feeling inspired, excited, or they might be feeling like, hey, there's certain things in my life that I got to take with God or tap into a little bit more. What advice would you give to the younger generation today?
Bro, man, that's a broad question because there's so many. I could write a book, you know, but one thing is like just finding your happiness, you know. I feel like you being happy is more than just like you finding your purpose, you know, doing things that make you happy, you know, like I'd like set aside some time like to hoop with the homies, you know, because that makes me happy, or like go out with friends because that makes me happy, you know. So doing things that make me happy while getting your stuff together is like huge to me, bro. So like just doing things that make you happy and always like keeping that relationship with God, you know. My pastor told me he met this guy that prayed 1,000 times a day, you know.
1,000 times a day.
1,000 times a day, man. Yeah. Wow. So like, who am I? Like, as my strong relationship with God, who am I not to thank God, you know, on the daily? Like, I thanked God before I got here, you know. So like, just constantly thanking God and finding things that make you happy, bro, is just like huge. Like for you to be successful, bro. Like, no matter what it is, like, even if you like need that time, bro, like even if like a lot of people are like relying on you and you just need that time to just breathe, bro, and just do like what you want to do, bro, make that time, bro, you know? Like, cause like at the end of the day, nobody's going to be satisfied with you, bro. Like there's going to be that one person that is not satisfied, you know? So like just make that time, bro. Just make yourself happy, you know? Like I feel like that's a very like cliche advice, but like I just feel like happiness is just huge, bro, and just doing things you want to do in this life. You only get one life, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, just doing things you want to do in this life, bro, is just huge. You feel me? So,
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. No, that's a great way to close it.
Yeah,
Happiness.
bro,
You know,
for
happiness
real.
does matter. So money comes and goes, but happiness is really where it's
bro,
at.
You feel me, though?
You know? So
Yeah.
I like that. Well, Trey, I appreciate your time.
Yes,
Before
sir.
we close out in the outro, where can people connect with you? Where can people tap into what you're doing?
So I have Instagram. My Instagram is PrinceFerg23. For the tournament, if you want to register like a team, the Instagram is es.pogtournament. And yeah, and man, my main Instagram is PrinceFerg23. That's where I'll be like keeping most of the updates for the tournament, but also like mostly like the All-Star game, like for people. Like I'm posting people constantly, like weekly on the tournament page. So it's es.pogtournament. And yeah,
There we go. You
Yes,
guys
sir.
heard him. Tap into that scholarship. Trey's doing some great work.
Yes, sir.
Trey, real quick, it's March Madness. Who's your team?
Man,
Who you going with?
my team is Duke for sure. Bleed blue for sure. Man, UConn lost today. I had UConn in the championship, bro. I just had a feeling UConn was gonna like
Go all the way?
Yeah, go all the way, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got UConn lost today, and I was man.
So you going to the other blue team?
You feel me though? So
From
yeah,
light
bro.
blue to dark blue, huh?
Exactly, for real. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, it's the Blue Devils for sure.
There we go.
Yes,
there we
sir.
go. You heard it. Well, Trey, I appreciate your time.
Of course, man.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much,
you.
my brother.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome episode. Thank you guys for taking the time to view this. And
Yes.
stay tuned as the Black Experience rolls on.
Sir.
Till next time, guys.
Peace.
Peace. What is up, y'all?
Thank you so much for tuning in to that episode. Make sure to click the subscribe, follow button, as well as the bell to get notified on all my new content that is coming out every Wednesday and every other day. And make sure to click that link in the description down below to get access to all my socials and any other platforms that I have my podcast on. And until next time, y'all, peace.